Okay, so I'm back and I've done some housekeeping and rewiring in the control panel down here. It looks normal, your AC side and your DC side, but I went ahead and unwired the converter, the factory converter, and took it out and made a little hole in the back, and I ran in my 12-volt trickle charger from my Bluetti, and I ran in my 30 amp connection from my Bluetti, my pigtail that I had inside. So that's all nice and clean there. Then over here in the cabinet under the sink, which I did have the Bluetti and the extra battery setting out here and all the cables. So now I have the Bluetti AC200MAX underneath the sink in the cabinet, and the battery's behind it. You can see the big heavy cable they're linked with there. And over here in the back where the red light's at, down at the bottom, that's the AC charger for the Bluetti. I took it over and plugged it into the outlet for the hot water heater. Down here, the green flashing light is my trickle charger. That's my 4-watt trickle charger from Walmart. It's plugged in right here to the AC. That's taking care of the 2 lead acid batteries that are out on the tongue that will be replaced in a couple of weeks with a lithium iron phosphate. Bluetti is sitting here charging. It's at 44%. It's taken 462 watts in from the generator, 2 watts from the solar panels, which it's really overcast and kind of nasty out today, so 2 watts is actually more than I expected. So then we can hit our center button. We can see that the second pack, the B300, is at 41%, and the main unit is at 48%. So coming in the back here through the wall, there is an 80-watt solar panel that I've got hooked directly into the charge port of the DC charge port of the B300. And then I've got my 350-watt solar panels that are up on the roof running in and going into the charge port on the AC200MAX head unit. So the reason I did that is I found the other day that if I'm gone and the external battery kicks off, I have no way to kick it back on, and if it senses a solar charge, when it comes daylight, it'll kick on automatically. So that's why I hooked the 80-watt solar panel into it, simply just to get it to kick back on during the daytime if need be, and I'm not here. And then down here, that's my 30-watt camper connection that I've got wired into the AC over here. You can see I've got a plug on it, and see that orange light? That means it's hot because it's getting power externally from the generator. That plugs to keep me from getting electrocuted by grabbing hold or hitting the prongs. And then whenever I disconnect the generator, the plug goes on out there, or that cable comes out. So nice and tucked away, out of the way. Maybe it'll produce a little bit more heat in that small compartment to keep the batteries warm enough so that the low temperature shutdown doesn't kick me off on charging like it did last night. And we'll see how this goes. So the factory onboard converter, as I mentioned before, when plugged into AC, would set and eat 1500 watts all the time. So if I'm not running off the generator or shore power, and I plug in my 30 amp into the 30 amp RV port on the AC200MAX, the converter would sit there and drain the AC200 overnight at 1500 watts an hour until it's all gone, which I thought was inefficient and pointless. So that's why I disconnected the factory converter and put in this 4-watt trickle charger for the batteries out on the front. That's only running me about 145 watts max. So at 5140 on watt-hour capacity. That's the head unit plus the B300 battery. I'm going to do some calculations to see how long that will run things, but I think 3 nights, 12-hour nights at about 140 watts. That's not exact because I had to get the calculator out to figure it out, but right now I think I have about 2 or 3 nights worth of running if it's full charged without any power, completely off grid. So that's not going to be enough. Eventually I'm going to have to update this some more or upgrade it some more. The 300 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery that I'm putting out on the tongue in place of the lead acid batteries will be a huge upgrade, and that'll get me some more time, but I'll keep you guys updated. Nice and quiet and out of the way. Very good.